trying to figure out why when I draft really well, I get sadder. Probably because I know what's going to happen. Like the better my the better the draft looks, the more pain is going to be coming because it shouldn't be bad. It shouldn't go poorly, but it's going to. And that's just how we're going to start this morning episode because we're just that's how that's how I feel in this morning, man. I just feel it right now. I had a draft last night that was magnificent. You had a draft last night, magnificent. A plus, applause to us. Yay, we know what we're talking about, and it's just going to end in pain, sadness.
So not necessarily. The thing is, not necessarily. Like
Yeah. Okay.
some, it doesn't always end in pain because you didn't draft well. Sometimes randomness just happens. You can still be happy with putting together a good team that you know under reasonable circumstances will be very, very good.
Right.
And I must say, the draft I had last night, I feel great about. So yeah,
You
let's go.
you was
I'm
cooking.
in. Yeah,
You
I'm feeling
you was
good.
cooking last night.
I'm
You was
feeling
cooking last
good.
night. You got a
Like I
monster
didn't
one
think I
tonight.
cooked. Then I looked at everybody's
Yeah.
roster, and then I was like, nah, I cooked.
That's how I felt last time. I was like, I think because I don't usually do 14 teamers. I cap it at 12, but I got invited to a
I have two
14,
14 teamers.
and I don't know what these
I
14
like the
team leagues supposed to
14.
look like, man. And I'm like, all right,
I, I
I
like
like this.
I like the 14 teamers.
I don't hate
The
them.
14 teamers, like it's rough, but
When you
if
do
you
the
got a
work, the 14,
competitive 14,
yeah,
yeah, because you
yeah.
get put to work in something that big. So I also did a 10 teamer, um, and I all the
Nah,
teams
I
look
can't do
good.
that.
It's kind of hard to mess up a 10 teamer.
I
Like
can't
it,
do the 10 teamers.
but
I can't.
I was a ringer, so this isn't for me. Well, not a ringer exactly. I was helping moms out, but it really
You're a ringer.
became like I'm
You're a
drafting.
ringer. Right.
So
Mom,
it's
don't worry
all
about
good.
this.
It's all
I'm
good.
drafting this team, Ma. You can pick the kicker and defense at the end.
No, 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 no. Got ideas and whatnot. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Got ideas. So don't no knock. You know, like there were certain things that she felt strongly about. It's like, all right, I can incorporate that. You
Right.
know, but for all intents and purposes, yeah, yeah, that's me.
Like, come on now. Yeah, yeah, it's me. What are we doing? So basically, it comes down to this for me. There's a lot of players that I have that I've ranked went on our tiers that are a lot different for me. A lot, and there's more to players than I
I'm not
thought.
sure. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I'm following.
Like so let's say for one, I had I had Kyler like 12 for me.
Hmm.
Like I felt, I felt that losing Hopkins, the feel of him not wanting to play, like he just didn't seem like he was invested into it. I didn't know how good Hollywood would be. Rondell Moore having to play a lot more, to get there. Zach Ertz a little older, and then everything I'm
Hmm.
hearing out of that camp is just that offense looks like it's humming well. James Conner is the one that bothered me, makes me
So,
nervous because he's been hurt
so
forever.
Connor's the one. If he does, look, I don't expect him to do what he did last year. I need to be
No,
clear on that. At least from a touchdown standpoint, the yards might absolutely be there, but from a touchdown standpoint, that was just bonkers last year. I expect some form of regression.
yeah,
But even still, if he gets you 1,000 yards and 8 to 10 touchdowns with Kyler and the way they run that offense, I think they're going
yeah,
to
and
be
the work
really
out of the
good on
backfield.
offense.
Yeah,
Hmm.
man, it's just so like Kyler moved up to like 7 for me over the course.
Yep.
I
I
just
had him 6. I tried. I When you told me 12, I didn't get it from jump.
Yeah, it just
So
didn't feel it. I didn't feel it with Kyler, but like he's up to
the
about 7
rushing,
for me
it,
now.
it's
Yeah,
it's just like the Jalen Hurts thing, where the
he's gonna
rushing,
be
though Kyler
Superman.
doesn't run just as much, the rushing element matters because especially with Kyler, who's going to get you traditional levels of passing yardage and whatnot, to also get that rushing is just a big buck. It's just a big plus.
100%. 100%. So Kyler moved up heavy for me. Rogers moved down for me. Even though I like Alan Lazard a whole lot. I do. I
He's
just think
Alan
they're gonna hit him
Lazard.
with he's gonna get a
He's
ton of
Alan
targets,
Lazard.
but it's Alan Lazard. He's not the wide receiver I love most on that team this year either. Um,
Hmm.
but we're gonna chill. But it's just a matter of like I just feel like they're gonna run the ball a ton. They're gonna run a ton. They're gonna run a lot there.
So the
AJ
thing with
Dillon's gonna get a
Green
lot
Bay,
of touches.
if Green Bay goes to let's say for sake of argument, they're running about 46, 48% of the time, they're going to be really, really good because that defense is really, really good.
I
The
like that defense.
the thing that didn't make sense this offseason above all else is okay, Devontae leaves. You have to do something legitimate. I'm not saying you need to go out there and spend a first and get a true number one, but you had to get Rodgers somebody who was at least ready to take on a
Yeah,
lion's share in the type of offense that they should be running.
Alan Lazard, B.
If they've tried to pass at the same level that they have passed have done so previously, it
It's
will
not gonna go
not
well.
work. They
It's
they
not gonna
just
go
aren't
well.
built for it. And that's not a knock on Rodgers. Rodgers is outstanding,
Yeah,
obviously. But the people catching the ball do matter. Like it does matter.
right. It does, and it has to matter. And I mean, as much as I like Alan Lazard, he's not like
He's
Devontae Adams
Alan
is the best wide
Lazard. I think
receiver. Devontae's the best wide receiver in football. Like nobody runs better routes. Nobody does what he does better than him. Like he's just
I at the end of this summer, I no longer believe that to be true.
about the route running.
He's still a no. That he is the best guy in football. I no longer believe that to be true. He is amazing. This is
Mm,
not a knock on Devontae Adams. He is still absolutely elite. I have seen the light. I've seen
Jefferson.
it. I've seen the light on Jefferson. I understand why I was holding out for so long
I know.
because
I get
my
it.
Cowboys did take CD before him, and I'm completely happy with CD. Don't get me wrong. For a 17th pick, he is a amazing value.
Yes.
Jefferson's better.
Yes.
He is he
Yes.
is so good at everything. Is the thing about it is he is
Yeah.
it's so incredibly complete. And you know what? When it's a tie, I tend to go for the person who I know is still getting better versus the
I
person
feel
who is
that.
inevitably going to decline a bit. Maybe I am a year early in making this proclamation, but
I
Jefferson's
feel
that
that.
dude.
I
He's
feel
that
that.
dude.
My
He
favorite
just
ranking
is.
change is that Justin Jefferson is wide receiver one for me now over Cooper Cup in fantasy. Like it's just not.
So to put in perspective, if you are in a traditional setup league in terms of like running backs, two wide receivers, two running backs, so on and so forth, one
Hmm.
quarterback, and
Right.
you are in a traditional snake, and you get that number one pick, and you just say, screw it, I want to take Jefferson, I got no problem with it. That's where I am with it. It
You're not
isn't
gonna
what
get
I
him
would
if you don't.
personally do. Exactly. It isn't what
You're
I
not.
would do, but if you go
Yeah.
into a draft saying, I feel the most confident that this player is going to get the most points on a consistent basis, and that is Justin Jefferson.
You got to
I
take him at
have no
one.
problem with that. I got no problem
Yeah.
with that.
You got to take him at
Um,
number one.
I wouldn't, just to be clear.
Dude.
I
Mm-mm.
like the certainty of running back. I'm not
Don't
ever
do
going
it.
to take a wide receiver at the top unless if it's like we got to be talking like 86 Rice, you know, something like that, something just completely ridiculous that
Right.
is going to happen.
Which I
Um,
think
but
Jefferson has in him this year.
I think
We talked
Thielen
about him
eats
going for
into it
2,000
just enough.
yards. Yeah, but they're
Yeah,
going to
I
throw
think
a ton, dude. They're
they
going to throw a lot.
they are. They are.
A
I
lot.
do think that Dalvin could get involved in the passing game even more. I think that a
Right.
65 catch season for Dalvin is entirely possible.
That's why I
Um,
have him so high.
I also look not from a fantasy standpoint, just as a player. I like Madison just as a player. Like I want him to end up on his own team somewhere
It seems
because
like
that
they
dude
don't
can
like Madison.
play.
It seems like they don't like him as much now. They were talking about shopping him. Like they're I don't
Not isn't he done after the year? I think he's up after the season. So it's a matter of
yeah, but like Dalvin insurance is important, man. They should know this
it.
by now.
They should. But
Eh, I don't care. It's Kirk Cousins. I don't want great things for him, except I think, he's gonna cook this year. I think it comes down for Jefferson for me, like we have a draft tomorrow where our last snake draft. Well, my last snake draft. I'm so sorry to bring that up for you. Um, my last snake draft tomorrow, thank God. And we're in it. You pick four, I
so
pick six.
wait.
I
Oh,
feel like
draft
one
order's out. Draft order's out.
yeah,
This is
draft
news to
order's
me. All
out.
right. Wait,
Draft
wait,
order's
wait, wait,
out.
wait. You said I'm four,
You're
and what
four.
are we running? 12?
12. You're 4. I'm 6. I don't like it. I'd rather be
I
12.
hate 4.
Last
Like
night I
I'd
picked
want to be
14 in the 14 team, and I was
no, no,
like,
no. Late
I
is
cooked
fine.
on the
Late is fine.
14.
Late is absolutely fine. But that 4 to 7 range
Look at
is
this
just
dude.
like
Look at this.
ew.
This is why we can't be great, man. Because dudes like this, know what I
So
mean, this is my man.
I will say
You
this for
can't.
snake draft. I underestimated coming into the summer how much strategy I would need in a snake
Yeah,
draft because it's child's play, whatever. That
I
being
agree.
said,
It's just not
with the
the right
snake
fit.
draft, it's fairly easy to predict where things will go and to
Yes,
map it out, and then
yes.
to cook
That's it.
because whatever y'all want to
I'm
play
gonna.
this. Y'all want to play this childish game? I will play it better than you. That is
Am
absolutely
I
fine
gonna
with me.
talk? Am I gonna talk my shit? I think I might. Snake drafts are. I feel like I shouldn't. How do I say this? Because I got people I love who do these, man.
Yeah, yeah. My
I
dog is
feel like
barking at
there's
you
a.
right now. He's upset. He
No, he's
likes
telling me
snake
to talk my
drafts.
shit. He ad libbing. He's. I feel like snake drafts for someone who cares about this as much as we do, kind of aren't fair a little bit, because then it's just a point of like you can't stop me from doing what I'm doing over here. Like you'll pick whoever you want, and that's cool, and I'll adjust better than you, and then I'll just that's it. You'll reach for things that you shouldn't reach for because I've done all the analytics, and then it makes sense for me to not do what you did here because I'll get this
Tears.
player here later,
In a snake
and it's
draft,
always
tears
it's
is
just
it's so beautiful when you can just say, "Yeah, I like you, but I can get this other guy I see
I can get
similarly
the
in 2 rounds and be
in two
completely fine
rounds,
with it, and just build my
right?
depth out." Like
Why are you taking a
whatever, y'all
quarterback
want to play
round
this?
4 in a one quarterback league? That's fine. Do what you want. I don't care. I'll see you down here when I've got more talent than you, and then you're just like, oh, can I have the? Just give me your best quarterback now, because now I want him, and I can have him for you
See,
now. Because you
no,
can't.
no, but that's the
It's
thing. You're
just
thinking about the trade standpoint. Like
oh,
I'm just
always
thinking, build the best roster possible.
right.
I'm gonna
Which
make it
for
so
me,
that people need to come to me. Like I don't want to come to anybody. I
here's
don't
what
want
I'll
to need
say though.
anything. You can come
Right,
to me, and I'm gonna have something for you because I've already thought it out, and I know who's gonna come when they're gonna come, and I already know what I'm gonna want. And what they're
yeah,
offering is not gonna be what I
yeah,
want, but I'm gonna get what I
yeah.
want.
And here's what I'll say about snake drafts. I will say this. I'll give it one positive. Um, I smoke snake drafts. Like I leave with a team on day one that's better than any salary cap team I leave with, just because it
Yeah,
forces me to do so. Like
exactly. It
it
forces you to be
forces you to
balanced.
draft well. It forces you to be balanced, and that's
Hmm.
fine. But that's probably why I hate them, because I look at my snake teams and I'm like, damn, this is missing a Derrick Henry. Like if I just put Henry,
So,
you know what I'm
and
saying?
I
If I
look at
put
it
Henry
differently.
next to this, I'm good money.
So I build my auction teams like a snake
You
draft team.
do,
Like
you
I
do.
do. The big thing is I get the exact person I want in each spot because I can just say, no, I'm going to bid for this person. I want this
Right.
person. Instead of just saying, all right, they're all in the same tier. I'll grab one. Nah, even within the same tier, there's always a favorite. There's always one that you just want to have on your team. And in an auction, you can make sure you go get that guy.
Right.
That's all. That's it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, for your rankings, who's risen the highest? Who's fell the furthest?
Any position in particular, or just
Any
generally
position.
speaking?
Any position.
So I don't necessarily think, in terms of falling, one person who I think has fallen more just in terms of how I view him than necessarily in the rankings. I really don't like Dak Prescott this year anymore. I'm
Ooh.
just I'm just not in. I think he will be fine. If he is your starting quarterback in a one quarterback league, you will be absolutely fine. If
Okay.
he's one of your two in a two QB league, you will be fine. I'm not saying don't take him.
Okay.
I am saying he is a lot further down than he was before Tyron got hurt. Like the more I
Yeah.
think about it, the more out on that passing game as a whole I am. Full disclosure, I have a draft where taking CD made a lot of sense a couple days ago. I took him because I think they'll be good enough. That offense just doesn't click when Tyron's not around, especially
Right.
the pass game. And the options are you put a rookie, a talented rookie, but a rookie who spent the entire summer playing guard because that's where you expected him to play.
Yeah.
He hasn't taken a single snap at left tackle since rookie minicamp. So you are either starting him or you are starting 57-year-old Jason Peters, who once upon a time was
That Jason
elite,
Peters
but
be.
those times were a long time. Like Sean Alexander was still elite when Jason Peters was elite. I'm exaggerating, obviously, but the point is, like, he is. If that is how you are protecting Dak, I don't like the feel of that passing game. I
Okay.
just don't. Um, the run game, I don't think will be efficient, but I think
They're
they're
just
gonna
gonna
give
run
the
all.
ball to Zeke a lot,
Yeah.
and Pollard too. Pollard is the one person in that offense that has risen significantly to me because I just think they're going to run a whole lot this year.
Yeah, I think I took Pollard round 6 in the like round 7 in the draft last night, which felt
I don't hate it.
I don't hate it at all because I just think they're just gonna run the bunch and get him the ball out there. Dak or Cousins?
Cousins.
Wow, Dak or Rogers?
Oh, Dak. I don't really like Rodgers this year. I'm not a big fan.
Okay,
But
Dak
they're in the same
or
range. They're in the same range. I take Dak just because of added rushing value,
okay,
and he at least has a. I think that he has two weapons better than any weapon in the Green Bay passing game. When you look at CD and Schultz, um, I just think that they're both better than anything Rodgers has. So I'll take Dak largely
okay.
because of that.
Dak or Derek Carr?
Closer than it should be.
Wow.
Um,
Okay.
I might personally, if I'm in a draft, take Dak just because I like added rushing value, but I feel Carr is safer.
Okay. Okay. That's fair. I haven't gotten down to them
This
yet, but
that
I
this Dallas offense, things can go left very, very, very quickly this year. Like
man.
you have three new starters on the offensive line, three, and you don't feel great about any of them. Like that's a lot.
Yeah, it is.
And we saw last year when the offensive line was intact and Dak was completely healthy, that offense was
They were
humming.
humming. Absolutely.
Once Dak got hurt,
And people sleep on what happened with that calf injury too. Like it just he was
well,
never
they
the same
sleep on it.
after it.
Well, they sleep on it largely because the team downplayed it and
They
didn't
did.
sit him long. The issue is the way that that team is run. They don't do things the right way. I don't have confidence in them. I don't have confidence in this plan. I think that that offensive line is a problem, and it hurts everyone except Pollard in my eyes. Um, one more I would throw out there as far as fallers, and this was
Okay.
somebody I was extremely, extremely high on to begin the summer. I think he is going to be good. I don't see Travis Etienne as a guy that you
ETN.
should have plugged in as a RB1.
Okay.
I see him more as a good RB2,
Right.
not necessarily an elite RB2, but a good
Right.
RB2 or a
But an elite
super good
flex.
flex.
Yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Um, I think he's going to be good. I think he's going to get touches. I think sanity will prevail, and James Connors, or excuse me, James Robinson is going to eat into those carries. He's just been too
Right.
productive and too good. If he is healthy by say the week, like fully healthy, good to go by the week 4 to 6 range, over the season he is going to eat into those carries. So I went from tier 3 on ATN to a tier 5,
Oh
which is
wow.
a
Okay.
pretty significant drop. Yeah, I really see him more as a RB2 strong
Okay.
flex.
Yeah, I think he's about where I've had him. I just think James Robinson's gonna get a lot more work.
If I remember right, you had him around like 30 or so to begin with, which is about where I have him now. So it just took me around a while to
Yeah,
get around to
yeah,
him.
but which sounds super low, but there's enough. It's because I think James Robinson and him are gonna split as many touches as possible, and they're gonna do a whole lot of bubble screens and little throws there. I think they're gonna open up Lawrence. Lawrence is someone who has risen for me a little bit. I was low on Lawrence. I feel like Lawrence is going to. I mean, the talent is obviously there. They talked about him being the best prospect since Peyton Manning
Since Luck.
type,
No, don't say
since
since Luck.
Luck.
Don't
Yeah,
say since Luck. Yeah.
they were doing all that, and as much as you want to like or hate Doug Peterson, he gets value out of his quarterbacks. You know, like he won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles. He got Carson Wentz to play at an MVP level. He's gonna he's
Man, if that isn't a
you know what I'm
magic
saying?
trick, dude,
That's what I'm
dude,
saying.
when you look at Carson Wentz's entire career, except for that one season, what the hell did Peterson do? Like, outlier isn't a strong enough word for that season
Right,
compared to the rest.
right. That's what I'm saying. And like if Wentz doesn't get hurt, he wins the MVP that year,
He does.
which
He
is not
does.
it's insane because he stinks. So it comes down to I feel like if you're doing that, Trevor Lawrence, if
It's too early for this.
he sucks, man. Like, listen, if I know anything, yo, like if I know anything, it's what legit bad quarterback play looks like. I watch it every single week. I root for it every week. Like I know, like he's not that much better than the dude who plays in my squad. Like he's not. He's not.
He's not. No,
He's
he's
not,
not.
dog. So who is a fantasy starting quarterback for me this year? But we're not going to talk about that yet. I still
So,
haven't processed
well,
it.
for a moment, I
Um,
want to piggyback off your point on Lawrence for just a second
I
in
think
terms
he's
of
going to be.
risers.
I think
No,
he's going to be really good.
my biggest riser as a wide receivers in particular is Christian Kirk
Ah,
for a lot
man.
of the reasons of what you.
I
I love
underestimated how
Christian.
much people were going to like
I
Kirk this year.
so did I. I was expecting I could
Kirk's
sneak
one
him
of
for
my
like a
guys.
couple bucks last night.
Yeah,
No,
man.
no, he's like a guy that I legit wanted. I thought I could sneak him for a couple bucks. Bidding was at like $7 before I knew what happened. I was just like, "Ooh, I
Oh,
am completely out." I was, and the
yeah.
thing is, wide receiver values dropped in a way that I was not expecting, and Kirk still went at a
And he
rate that
still went for
was.
more than that.
He went
Yeah.
the way that he went in the drafts that I participated in suggests he is more of a tier 4, 5 wide
Yes.
receiver. Now the thing is, I saw him as a potential tier 4 that I could get at a tier 7 type of price. That's not the case. The discount's not happening.
It's not. And I thought it would. Like Kirk was one of my
I thought it,
I
I thought it
I
would.
always walk in with like three wide receivers where I'm like, all right, because of how I draft my teams, if I get these type of guys, I'm gonna be perfectly fine. Kirk is one of
Hmm.
those guys. You know, one
Yep.
of my other guys. A lot of people do. I've talked about him enough here. And then there's one I haven't mentioned who I'm probably not getting in one of our leagues, but you'll see tomorrow night. You'll see tomorrow night. You know,
I'm not
like there's
concerned.
nothing I can do about Wednesday.
I
Wednesday,
I'm completely
all these guys are off the
unconcerned.
plate.
I'm
But
completely unconcerned.
but it's actually I might tell you because I need you to win this high school league so you can walk away into the sunset being like I love you
Man,
enough to
no, no,
where
no.
this is not good for you.
We could talk
This
later,
is
man.
not I love
I'm
you enough for
still
this to not good for you.
I
I'm
am
not gonna tell you on the
we can
air
talk we'll
because
talk we'll
all
talk
them
later.
dudes can
Yeah,
get the
I'm
fuck out of
still
here. I don't know none of y'all.
yeah, I'm still feeling a certain type of way about this shit being a snake
Snaking,
draft. Like I am
snaking,
legitimately annoyed about it,
snake,
but I'm gonna
IDP
go cook.
snake.
I'm gonna go
You are.
cook.
You are gonna eat.
But
You are gonna eat.
that's it.
You are.
For
You
people
are
out
gonna
there
eat.
who have any ideas of trying something difficult like this, don't ever do a draft where you have 5 IDPs. It gets very annoying, especially when there are 14 players in said
And it's a
draft.
snake.
14 players, 5 IDPs.
Snake.
Whose idea was this?
And not yours. Not yours. He knows who it was. Um I got one more, and this is one of those fell from top 10 and not mentioned at all type things. Like not necessarily top 10, but he was up there.
You're not talking about Reek, so I really don't know who you're talking about. Unless you're talking about Reek. I'm on the edge of my seat. Like I have no idea who you're gonna
I
say.
just I'm trying to think how low I'll have him when I look at it like going into drafts tomorrow. Like I when I had this
Can
all
you at
set up, when
least
I
let me
looked,
know who this person is? Like I'm
yeah,
legitimately.
man, like when I looked at it, oh, this is gonna sound crazy too, but I don't really care. Tyreek Hill, I just don't. Uh,
I don't like the feel. I don't like.
Patrick Mahomes looks as good as ever.
So
And
wait.
Tua, like Tua,
So Tua, I
I'm
think
an
Tua could be
Alabama guy.
decent. I think Tua could
Listen,
be decent.
I'm
I
not
don't
saying
think
he
that,
can't be decent.
but it's
You
Tua.
can't be decent and do what Tyreek needs to be Tyreek. Like you have to have elite placement
So
of
so
where you throw your balls, and you have to be able to take the top off.
not necessarily.
Tua,
Not no. Let's be fair. Let's be fair. Tyreek he wasn't what he has become, but he was productive with Alex Smith. He was productive with Alex Smith, who has all the
I don't think
he
Tua
has
is drastically better than Alex Smith, dude.
no, neither
When
do I.
Alex,
But what I'm saying is Hill can still be productive. What Hill can't be,
right,
in my opinion, is elite. That's what
right.
I don't see.
I'm not saying he won't produce. I think Tyreek Hill will be a productive, but I would rather Cortland Sutton than Tyreek Hill this year.
Mm,
Yep. I would rather Mike Williams than Tyreek Hill this year.
I'm not
I
as low
would.
on him as you. I'm not as
I
low on
would.
him as you.
Because a lot of what this is going to like Tyreek had his variances in Kansas City. He would go off for the 48, 49. He'd get his 20, 25 point games, but he'll get you a 6, 7.
Mhm.
Those variances aren't going to be as high as they were in Kansas City, but I still think you get those low variance games from him still.
So here's my biggest thing. I think Jalen Waddle's wide receiver one in that
I
offense.
like Jalen
From
Waddle
a
way more than
fantasy
I thought I
standpoint,
would.
I'm not
Yeah,
necessarily speaking to the way defenses will treat it. I'm not necessarily, they're going to give Hill as much as he can handle in that offense. I just think when it's 3rd and 6, Waddle's going to be that guy for Tua.
I
That's just what I
agree.
expect.
I
The
agree.
rapport. He's the one person that Tua kind of got
He
the ball to last
he's
year.
going to
Kind of.
default to what he did last year and what kept him safe last year, and that's Waddle.
And,
It's not that,
and what he knows going back further than that. There's
yo,
something to be
listen,
said
like
about familiarity.
there's something
Something to
about
be said.
Bama and playing with this guy because Tua was one of those leaders of this new Alabama Renaissance where the quarterback is going to run everything. It was
Hmm.
Tua, and then you get into Mac Jones. Now we got Bryce. Woo, Bryce looks so good on Saturday. Anyway, um, but it comes down to like I think Tyreek Hill will be a very good wide receiver too. I would be terrified unless you're in one of our salary cap drafts that we love and you are set at a running back position or you're set in a two quarterback at quarterback and you have Tyreek as wide receiver one, that's fine. If you're in any kind of traditional and you're taking Tyreek over Michael Pittman, I'm sick about it. I'm nauseous
I
about it.
love I love Pittman this
I
year.
trust Pittman 100% more than I trust Tyreek Hill this year. 100%. There's something to say about T. Higgins being the number 2 wide receiver to people on the. I would rather T. Higgins than Tyreek
Yeah,
Hill.
no, absolutely. I think that you have become a okay. Let's reverse the game that you were playing with me. Um,
Okay,
Tyreek Hill or DJ Moore.
that's a good one. I probably go Tyreek.
Okay,
Probably just because McCaffrey is gonna catch 90 passes this year.
okay.
Actually, you know what? I think Robbie Anderson is cooked. I think I go DJ Moore. I think I go DJ
Okay.
Moore.
Tyreek or a guy that I know you do really like,
Hmm.
Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks.
Like I feel that Cooks, I feel is
Brandon Cooks.
safer.
Yeah.
Is it possible that he also has he doesn't have a higher ceiling? You can't say
He
that,
doesn't have
but
a higher ceiling because Tyreek is
like
still terrifying.
he
But
is.
but those variance games, I think the floor is higher for Cooks. I think the floor is always going to be higher, and then those
Okay.
variances aren't. Tyreek's not going to
All right.
have a 50-point game with Tua. I don't see
So
it.
so a player that I have been down on Tyreek or McLaurin? I just want to make sure that you're not down on Tyreek to a point that it's like, all right, you're doing a little much.
Tyreek or who?
McLaurin,
Oh my God, Wentz sucks.
he does. He
It's
does.
Tyreek. Yeah, no, it's Tyreek.
Yeah, okay. I'm just making sure you're not
I'm
too
not
down
gonna
on him.
have any. I'm not gonna have any Terry McLaurin on my teams ever.
Not
And it's not because,
at a certain
and I think
at
he's
a
good.
certain
I'm
point.
not.
I
No, I'm not.
look.
I will not. I'm telling you. But Terry McLaurin has been there, and I've jumped over him, and I said, "Ooh, Allen Robinson," and I said, "No, ooh, Cortland Sutton."
So thing with McLaurin, every draft I participate in has at least a couple people who are from the DC area, so he just doesn't last.
Okay,
But I just don't know who's that high on him. Like, who are these people that think that that Washington offense is going to be good?
I don't know.
Who are these
I don't
people?
know. You said Wentz
They
over
have all
Rodgers
the
fantasy
they
wise. Are
have
you still on
they
that?
no 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 no. I was taking crazy pills that day. Like I must have been on some shit. Like nah, I'm out, man. Was this actually? I will ask this: was this before or after Robinson was shot? All joking aside,
This
no, no,
was
no, no, no. I'm trying.
no,
I'm not
no.
trying to
This
be
was
funny. I
this
want to say
was
this before that
this was before
because
Robinson got shot. And
okay,
shout out to my man
I
Brian, Bama shit
get
baby.
well,
He gonna
get
be right
well.
back. And watch, he's back in week 5 because he's a
No,
cyborg and
no.
he's gonna be
So
a
so
higher.
here's the thing. At that point, I was still crazy because it's Rodgers and it's Wentz. I
You're
was tripping.
you're out of your mind,
Um,
dog. You
that
told
being
me I was
said,
bugging.
my thought
Never mind.
no no
You my man's. I'm not
my
gonna
thought
drag
process my thought process at the time was if Wentz has a good running game to play off, play action's the one thing he does semi well.
you.
It's the one thing he kind of does well. My thought process was if that running game gets going as I was expecting it to, the play action game would get going.
Okay.
I don't believe in Gibson in that offense. I just don't.
No, they were gonna put
Every
him at kick returner before Robinson got hit. Kick return.
kick returner.
You were gonna be
Like,
Vi Sikahema for this team, dog. You were like, and not as good. And like you were gonna,
no,
they relegated you to kick returner, bro.
so no, 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 no. I am down on Rodgers. I am not that down on Rodgers. I think that
Okay.
Rodgers is a. I think he is. If you're in a 12 team league, one QB, I
Yeah.
don't think Rodgers should be anybody's starter.
Wow.
But
Okay.
if you're in a deeper league or if you're in a two QB league, it's not like he's going to be bad. He's going to
Oh,
give you good numbers.
he has to be a
It's
QB
just
two.
not going to. It's just not going to be Aaron Rodgers numbers
Yeah,
because
I
he's
don't see
throwing to
it.
Alan Lazard. Like, come on,
I don't
this can't
listen.
be it, man.
I don't hate
This
Lazard, man.
can't be it.
I don't hate him.
I don't hate Lazard. I don't hate Lazard either. This is not
He's
meant to.
gonna get volume, bro. All we care
I
about is
think he
the
is going
economy.
to be a very, very good flex, decent. Well, he could be a good wide receiver three
He's gonna be
if
a
you
really
play
good
in
wide
a
receiver three.
like. I think he could be a good wide receiver three. So I'm
Yeah.
not just. I just don't think that is good enough to carry Aaron to help carry Aaron Rodgers to a top 10 fantasy season at QB. Real
Got you.
life, he's still top 5. This is not disrespect to him from
Right.
a real football perspective,
We're
but
talking
from a
about
fantasy
fantasy football.
perspective,
Yeah.
we're here for the numbers. We are
Yeah.
accountants. We are
Yeah.
here for the numbers, and I just don't see it in that offense.
I have one
But I
more
love
riser
those
before
running
we get.
backs. But I
Yeah,
love
I
those
do.
running backs.
Yeah. Yeah. One more riser before we get to who we think fantasy MVP will be. Ramondre Stevenson for me. We've talked about it off air. Here's what I think about Ramondre.
Please, because
Um,
I'd like to know.
they've changing their run scheme to this zone scheme. Why whatever their run scheme is that they can't get right in practice, r- but they're going to keep doing it. Ramondre runs that better than Damian Harris does. I love Damian Harris, Bama again forever, but Ramondre runs that better. And Mac has looked terrible. And all the stuff that's coming out is Mac's been throwing the ball. He's been checking down more. They've been running these routes for the running backs. Ramondre does that better than Damien. They give Ramondre more of that than they do Damian Harris. Um, and I just think that without Ty Montgomery, who's going to be that James White role, Ramondre is the clear guy to step into that role. They don't have Brandon Bolden anymore. So he's that guy who's going to step into that. And we're talking about all we want to talk about is volume. They're going to want to run the ball and play Belichick defense. They have guys who can get passing. We like Devontae Parker coming in earlier before we start hearing the Mac Jones stuff.
I'm
I
out on Parker.
I'm
Just to be clear, please continue.
maybe in a
Just
16
just
team I'll be in there, but
just to
I'm
be
never doing
clear,
a
yeah,
16
I'm out.
team.
I'm out.
That's it. I'm
I'm
cool
out.
on Devontae Parker, but he's a guy who can get open, can catch the ball. That's cool. They got the tight ends. They got Jacoby Myers, who we both have an appreciation for. But that offense is not going to throw the ball a lot. They're going to run the ball a ton. They're going to have a lot of those short range passes. And whenever the Patriots do these short range things, it's to the running backs a lot. And Harris is not going to be that guy. They're not going to immediately start putting that here.
Okay,
They
so
used
so so
Ramondre like that last year. They're
I'm
going to put
sold.
more Ramondre in there.
I'm sold. All right. I
I
am
think
sold.
Ramondre as a running back
I'm sold.
too in a
Yeah.
league that you go heavy on wide receiver, a league that you go. I think you're
I s-
beautiful there. I
so
think
I'm
Ramondre is
st-
going to be like a 13, 14 PPR point a game type of floor for Ramondre.
so if he is that, I am too low on him even still. You've just talked me up on him because I couldn't understand your love affair with him. I was basically out. But I see the vision. I just don't think it'll be quite to that level, but I see where you're coming from, and you'll now have competition in getting him. Thank you. You have just you did too well. You did
That's
way
fine.
too well. But
That's
the
fine. I'm
logic
not.
makes all the sense in the world.
That's fine.
So in terms of risers, one that has risen for me quite a bit, and I didn't see this coming, but as the summer progressed, it just made more and more sense. I like Chase Edmonds a
Yep.
lot
Yep.
for the
Those guys are
value
in that
you will
same range
get
for
him
me.
at. That's the thing. I see Edmonds similarly to how you see Stevenson, and maybe it's
Okay.
just I like Edmonds more. End of the day, I just think Tua's going to check it down a lot.
Right. Which makes sense. The
Like
only reason I have. Go ahead. I didn't know
just
if you
keep
were
the
done.
offense. I think that he's going to catch 50
Keep the
balls this
offense
year, and if
simple.
he does
Keep the
that,
offense
and if
simple.
he does that, he will be a valuable. If you have him in flex, you're going to feel great. If he's a running back two, if you have a strong running back one,
Hmm.
I think you'll feel okay. He's not who you want if you have more of a middling running back one because he's going to have some weeks where he's going to give you 6 to 8 points and whatever.
Right. I don't feel there are going to be weeks where Ramondre has 6 to 8 points. I just think his
Mhm.
floor is double digits always. The reason
Gotcha.
why I have Stevenson over Edmonds is the Patriots didn't pay $140 million to bring somebody else in to get the ball to. They just have to work with that they work with. Tyreek, they're going to force Tyreek the ball. Waddle's going to get his. I like Gesicki in the middle for them. Like they're going to.
I don't. I'm out on Gasicki.
Oh no, I like him
The
as a
fact that
player,
they.
not in fantasy.
Okay.
He's
Okay.
fine.
Yep.
I'm not.
Okay.
No, Mike Gesicki is another guy. I'd rather Cole Kmet 100,000% over Mike Gesicki.
The Bears aren't going to be good on offense.
They're
I
not.
like Komet.
They're
I think
not.
Komet is going to
Mooney
be
dropped a little bit for me too. Just to say, I'm not
that
going to get too
offense
crazy in
is not
there,
going to be
but
good.
Mooney
That
dropped a
offense
little
is
bit
not
for
going
me.
to be good.
They're not going to
Yeah.
get the ball off. Before question here before we hop into the fantasy MVP thoughts on Paris Campbell.
It's
I like the
random.
talent. I know, right? I like the talent, but he can't stay healthy. That's it. But like
I
you
like him
got,
coming out of school. Like
but if
if
you,
he's healthy, he can be productive. But
yeah, but you're drafting in the snake with us tomorrow, and then the salary cap tomorrow night. Delvin,
please
if
take
you want
Paris
to go
Campbell.
take Harris Campbell, please. You know what? It's a good flyer, B. Appreciate that. You go ahead and do your Paris Campbell thing, my guy. Um, fantasy MVPs. Um,
So I got to ask a question because I always
yeah,
need clarification.
yeah, of
I
course.
like to know exactly. So are we talking just the one who ends up being, scoring the most points? Are we talking value from like
I'm
I got
talking
this guy in the
where
fifth
you can
round
take
and
him
then
for where he
okay,
can get you at the end of the year. Like obviously, I think
gotcha.
Josh Allen's going to go insane, but everybody
Hmm.
thinks Josh Allen's going to have an insane year. I just think he's going to be crazier than what most people are saying. But everybody thinks
Gotcha.
Josh is the guy. That's it. I wouldn't call him a fantasy MVP unless he scores 600 points or
A
something like
guy
that. That's different.
whose value ends up being a league winner sort of thing. Kind of like how
Yes,
Mark Andrews last year, if you got him in the
Mark
seventh
Andrews
round,
last year.
like that ended up
Cooper
being
Cup
like
obviously last year. He was a fifth, sixth round pick.
exactly. Okay. Just making sure that I understood the criteria.
Yeah,
You go first.
I have two. Um,
Okay.
so my one guy is a little obvious, and the other one is gonna be
Mm-hmm.
interesting. Um, my one is Cortland Sutton. I think Cortland Sutton, um, because you can get Cortland Sutton in fifth round, maybe sixth, depending on where you're going. Um, I think Cortland Sutton ends up putting up top tier wide receiver one numbers this year. Not the Jefferson Cup numbers. Chase, how you feel about Chase, but I think 6 to 8. Cortland Sutton is going to put up those type of wide receiver one numbers from a guy who you'll get in the fifth or sixth round. I've talked about it enough. I don't think Russ is washed up. I think Pete Carroll was antiquated in his offense, and he wanted to run that offense that way. They didn't pay Russ and then extend him for 245 million to not say this is your offense. You go do whatever it is that you want. We brought you in here for this. Russ wants to throw the ball a lot. Russ wants to score a lot. People like Jerry Judy. Alabama again. Damn, we're so good. I like Jerry Judy a lot. Like he does, he puts, he
Fair
does
is
things.
fair. Like, what do you
You
want
know
me
what
to
I'm
say? Like,
saying? Like
fair is
what do we
fair.
like?
Yeah.
What's it gonna come
Yeah.
down to? I
It is
like
what it
Jerry Judy a
is.
lot. He runs a
Mm-hmm.
beautiful route. Jerry Judy has 3 touchdowns in his career. Like if Russia, that's obviously going to go up. I think Judy scores more, but Cortland Sutton has shown he's had an 1,100-yard year in his career with quarterback play. He's had, he scored 8 touchdowns with guys who are nowhere near. Like he's shown that he can produce on a high level. You bring in Russ, you bring in people down on him this year. It's still they see it, and it's still Cortland Sutton. It's going to be too late for you to pry Cortland Sutton from somebody's hands once he starts producing the right way. The price of the brick is going to go
The
up.
price is absolutely going to go up.
So
I don't.
Cortland Sutton for me,
I don't dislike it at all.
for where you can get him, like he will be a wide receiver one on a team for me, and I'm going to feel perfect about it because I think he's going to be one of the six. I think he can. I think right now, if I were to redo my tiers, I probably have him a spot ahead of T Higgins. I like him more than T Higgins, and you know how much I
Wow.
like T Higgins.
So I like Sutton. I don't like him as much as you. We've discussed that. But I see the path of him being DK for us. I don't think that he is quite as physically imposing, but he does things very, very similarly and very well. I can absolutely see him being super productive.
Right.
I'm just not quite as high as you are on him,
Yeah.
but I don't dislike it at all. Similar situation in
Okay.
that the upgrade in quarterback is a big reason for why I feel this way. I have traditionally not been a fan of this player,
Hmm.
mostly because I think he's a clown. But he's been productive,
Juju.
and suddenly he's going to play with
Juju.
Pat. Going
It's so
from washed,
true.
going from washed Roethlisberger to
Yeah.
Pat in an offense that no longer has Tyreek Hill. I don't
Yeah.
feel any better about that run game than I did last year or the year before. Juju is talented, and here's what Juju does well. Juju runs routes well.
He does.
If you can get open
Oh,
with
pass me the
Pat,
ball.
he is getting you the ball. I think Juju is a PPR monster. I think he might get 1,100 yards but catch 90 balls. Like, seriously, I don't necessarily think he's going to stretch the field in any sort of way, though he does have enough speed to do so if asked to. I think he's going to live in that intermediate range, and he's just going to catch a lot of passes. If you were getting a guy like Juju in like the 8th round, or if you're in a adult league and you're getting him for like $5,
Right.
he's going to produce like a tier 4 guy. That is my honest assessment of it. Now, whether you would call that the absolute MVP, I don't know. I just know that that type of value flips a season for somebody. Um, the other guy that I absolutely have to mention,
Mm,
I am so down on these guys, so it's hard for me. I am not high on Zeke as a player this year. I
okay.
think that he is beyond the hill. I think that things have swung too much, and people are thinking too little of him. He's just going to get the ball a lot. He's going to get 300 touches this season. He's going to. They might not be efficient touches. They might not look very good, but they're just going to keep giving him the ball. The ranges I've seen him going in have been so much lower than I was expecting
Okay.
that I'm now at the point where I'm saying he can still be an elite RB2. And if you can get an elite RB2 in the fifth round, which is where I saw him in two different snake drafts, the fifth round that's outlandish. If you were going that way and you even want to just go cheap at running back and get him that late, I
Right.
think that he can stabilize you enough that he can flip a league for you and you can be incredibly strong at wide receiver because they're so good at the top.
I like that. I like that. I like I think
To be
Zeke
clear,
is
he's
getting
over
too
the hill
washed.
though. He's over the hill. He is over
You
the
think
hill.
he's what?
But they are
You
going
think
to
he's washed up?
I think he is washed up as an elite running back. I think that
Okay.
he is a guy who should be getting the ball 12 to 14 times a game. That's what I think he should be.
Wow. Okay.
I think Tony Pollard is the better running back. I get it. Zeke blocks. I understand it. I think that Tony Pollard, from an ability standpoint, is just better. He just is. But they're not going to play him that way because that's not what they do because they're stupid, which is why they haven't won anything in 25 years. Like, you're not feeling me. Like, all the logic in the world says Tony Pollard should be the guy. But nah, they wanted to pay Zeke 2 years early, and they gonna
They
make
did.
sure they get the value out of that contract.
They
Not
did.
one, but 2 years early on a running back while your quarterback was not paid. It's
Yeah.
astounding how stupid they do things. Which is why Jason Peters is going to be starting at left tackle in less than a week.
62 years old. Um.
40, dude, 74 years old, ain't practiced all summer. Watch. They're going to line up against Tampa next week, and they're going to line him up, and JPP is going to eat him for breakfast,
He is.
and then Dak's going to get hurt, and we're all
He
going to be
is.
sad because we got to watch the Cooper Rush experience again.
I like
All
JPP.
because,
JPP has carved himself out of career, man.
you know what?
Yeah.
When the finger thing happened, I thought it was over for him. I am happy that
Me
it
too.
wasn't.
So am I,
I'm
man.
legitimately
I
look. Giant. I
thank
know
you
he
for
was
the
a giant.
championships. He
No,
was.
he was a giant, all that. But hey, my Haitian brethren is always my
Uh,
Haitian brethren.
I
That's
know
my
it is.
dude. I
I know
always
it
wish
is.
him well, and he has been incredibly productive. So good for him. He is going to
Yeah,
eat Jason Peters
absolutely.
for breakfast. He's
Oh,
going to
Jason
eat him for
Peters.
breakfast.
Would you
Jason
rather Zeke?
Peters, man.
I'm so excited for it. I'm so
However,
I'm
in a strange way, Jason Peters is so massive.
he's
Doesn't
a
hurt the run
big
game.
dude. He's a
Doesn't
big
hurt the run
dude.
game.
He walked
He
in there when
can't
they showed the
move.
pictures of him.
He
I was like,
can't
I
move.
forgot he was like
He's a
392. Like
gargantuan. He is just a
I
gargantuan
forgot,
human
dog.
being.
I was
But
like, what
for
the
real, the Dallas
hell?
offense is not going to be good. Like I can't say it strong enough. That is not going to be a good offense.
Do you
It
want
is
Zeke or do
not.
you want AJ Dillon?
I want Zeke because of volume. Because
Okay.
of the volume, he is going to get volume. Like I can't. He's getting 300 touches. You think I sound crazy? He is going to get
300?
300 touches. This is the last year of guaranteed money on that contract. They are about to work him like a mule, and I am already uncomfortable with it. Like this
Wow.
is it for this season is it. He will never look like a starting running back ever again. They are going to run him into the ground. They should not
That's what
do
I
it,
feel.
but they are going
Yeah.
to. They absolutely
But
should not.
yeah.
Tony Pollard
Yeah.
should be the guy getting 60% of the touches. He will not.
He
I see
won't.
this as a 70-30 split,
Oh my
75-25
gosh.
split. Like they are going to ride Zeke. You are not hearing the things coming out of Dallas. They are
Oh
talking
my
like it's
gosh.
2018, and Zeke is that guy, and he is the best shape he's been in his life.
Oh, we heard that. That's our favorite one.
We're done out here, B.
I can't
We're
wait.
done out here.
Yeah, Jason Peters and 25 rushing attempts for Zeke. This is going to be wonderful. Um, before I get to my
You
second
know what?
one,
That's why.
I
That's
will
why I
say
play
this.
fantasy because
I
real
know
life football is truly painful.
I'm a Giants dude, B. Daniel
You
Jones.
got two
We've got.
rings. You got two rings that you remember, like that you remember vividly. Like I
I
remember
remember the
Cowboys rings because
1991.
I've rewatched those games and that bullshit cave drawing standard definition we used to call television.
True.
But
Pat
dude,
Summerall. What
I,
up, Pat?
I was I was 8 years old.
Yeah, man.
No,
Yeah.
nine. Excuse me. I
It was
was
a long time
9 years
ago.
old the
Was
last
that
time they won a
96?
Super
I was
Bowl.
11, 37, 26 years now. Good.
Like, come
That
on,
makes me.
B. I
That
can't.
makes you feel better. That does.
We suck.
That makes you feel
Our
better.
plan
Um.
was to trade away our wide receiver one, our
Right.
starting right tackle,
Right.
replace neither of them,
No.
let our starting defensive end go, not
Yeah.
replace him either,
No.
and then say, hey, it's our year. No, it is not our year. It is not. Like, stop it. You sound ridiculous. Like, if a Giant, not a Giant, if a Lions fan walked up on you like, this is our year, you'd be like, you sound stupid.
You sound dumb. You got Jared Goff.
We are the Lions with better publicists.
You're not the
Over
last
the
stop. No,
last,
you're not.
yeah, you're right. We ain't that. We
No,
ain't
you're
that.
not.
We
You
ain't
know what I'm
that. Let's
saying?
not
I'm
be
not gonna let you do
disrespectful. I
that.
apologize.
Let's
That's
not go
disrespectful.
crazy.
We are the Chargers over the last 25 years.
You're the
We're the
Chargers.
Chargers. Super talented. You
The
see the names
Chargers.
at the top, and you always think it's going to be. But then every year,
That's a
they're
really
undisciplined.
good
Why are
comp.
there so many
Wow.
penalties? Why can't the defense that's supposed to be good get stops when they're supposed to? You're 13-3.
Wow.
You're the one seed. Why are you gone in the divisional round?
That's a really good comp. Rivers, Romo, LT was LT, but like Elite Zeke has been really good. Offense, defense, yeah. And then you just fall apart at the wrong spot. That's a really good comp. Wow. Good. Your pain for Dallas soothes me. I will say this about Derrick Henry. Them front loading
Oh, you
some
didn't even
money
tell.
into this year. No. He's not MVP. I'm just thinking about what you said about Zeke
Oh,
running
okay.
to the ground.
I was like, I thought we weren't talking about
Tennessee,
this number one. Okay.
no. Tennessee taking money from later and giving him extra 2 million this year. 425 carries on deck for my guy. They gonna try to kill my man. This shit. How your foot? Oh, your foot good. I see your little videos. You got the Rottweiler chains on your neck, pushing the joint. Like that sound good. You running up the hill, catching balls in the sand with the, you know what I mean, with the with the bull massive chains on your neck and shit out there shirtless.
Oh,
I got
can I mention
450
one more
touches for
name?
you, Derek. Yeah.
Can I
What's up?
mention one more
What's up?
name? Closer to the top. I've been high on him all summer. After having participated in a few drafts, I think he's just going way too low because I think he is one of the 3 to 4 best running backs out there.
Ooh,
Y'all need to put some respect on Joe Mixon this year. Like,
you are
people are
from
going
Bro.
into drafts and are not valuing Joe Mixon the way that I think that they should. Um,
Joe Mixon went 13 in that 14 team where I went last night, and I thought I was getting Mixon at 14.
and here's the thing, and I get it. You might not want to say MVP because it's still first round, but if you are picking 13, 14, and you get a guy who's going to finish top 5-ish, and then
That's
you
MVP
turn
level
around
stuff.
at the top of the second and get another super productive guy, you are in great shape.
Yep,
Like
I
the
feel
thing
that
is,
same way about DeAndre Swift.
the, the thing with any team doesn't matter the format you draft in. You need two truly elite players to have a shot. Not good. You need two legitimately top of the board elite players, whether it's two running backs, whether it's a running back and a wide receiver, whether you want to go different and just go two wide receiver at the top. You need two truly
They need to be
elite
monster
guys.
guys.
Like, you
They
have no chance to win a league that's worth its salt if you do not have two elite guys. Now, if you finagle it where you get somebody late and that becomes a third superstar level player, or if you
can't
really
predict
rock
that
it and you have four,
Yeah,
you can't. But you need two elite guys. Figure out who your elite guys are and make sure you get two.
yeah. I feel that same way about DeAndre Swift. I think he's gonna take a step and be one of those elite guys. Like starting a 14 teamer with Swift and Kamara yesterday was like people. He's not suspended, and he's not going to be suspended till 2023. It's Alvin Kamara.
Even though we saw it in 4K, the NFL is wild, man.
It's Alvin
The
Kamara.
NFL is wild.
It's Alvin Kamara. Like
I
so,
love
at
him
that
in that
point,
offense this year.
you take Alvin
I
Kamara
love him.
at 15. You do it.
So
Y'all
when
let
we
me
did running
cook
back
y'all last night.
tiers,
Good lord.
I had Alvin Kamara at the top of my tier 3, but it was like I don't know what's going to happen with the suspension. He might drop, he might rise.
Hmm.
He's I don't see him as any worse than the RB6 for the season.
Yep.
I see him as no worse than that. Like if at the end of the year Kamara has outproduced Christian McCaffrey all in, it's not going to shock me.
No,
It's not.
they're
It's
giving
not.
him the ball.
They are giving him the ball.
He's
They are giving
elite
him the
pass
ball.
catching. He runs
And I
better
also
between the
expect
tackles than
McCaffrey to
everybody
miss some
gorillas
games.
do.
And
Yeah.
McCaffrey will miss some games. He's
Right,
going to.
right. Oh
Just
lord.
limit it to 3 or 4. Just limit it to 3 or 4. That's all.
$7. I don't give a shit if he plays 9 games. You got your money's worth.
No. I have him in another league too,
You
though.
do have him in another league where you need him now. That's fair. I want good
Yes,
things
yeah.
for you.
Whatever. I'm gonna run those dudes regardless.
Yeah, they deserve it.
I'm gonna adjust and I'm gonna run them regardless. So whatever.
Last fantasy MVP, man. This I'm doing it. Yeah.
They gonna say Kirk?
No, like I love Christian Kirk though. I do.
No. I thought you were gonna say Kirk
Oh,
Cousins.
Cousins. No, people know. I got Kirk Cousins. I think he'll finish top 8, top 7, 8. I don't think that's
Okay.
outlandish.
No.
If and only if he can figure out whatever Doug Peterson did with Carson Wentz. Like if he can just tap into that, and if Kenny Galladay decides he wants to play football this year, I think there's a way
You gonna go for Saquon?
that where you're taking Saquon now, middle second, maybe sometimes he slides down to the late second and the third and he snake drives. The $35, $40 and then salary cap, I know that's not, but you're getting down to Taylor 75, McCaffrey 73, 72. Well, I think Saquon,
I saw him go for 31 last night.
$31 for Saquon for a guy who, and he doesn't need a ton to break right for this. If he stays healthy and Daniel Jones is competent, which he's looked competent all offseason, all throughout. He doesn't look terrible. Saquon can finish as RB1 if everyone is healthy. If everyone plays all the games, Saquon can finish RB1 because they are going to do nothing but put Saquon in position to score. Saquon's going to get 25 touches a game if everything goes the way they want it to.
He needs to. That
offense.
offense.
If this offense is going to be anything that's going to be competitive and produce, Saquon 23 to 25 touches a game with all of the passing work they're going to do, not just dump downs, but route trees that he's going to run for them. Saquon's pissed. He thinks you're playing with his name, and he's angry, and he's still that good.
So here's my thing. It's similar to the Zeke
RB1. I think RB1.
It's similar to the Zeke plan. Are the Giants planning the future with Saquon, or are they just trying to get what they can get this year?
I think that depends on what it looks like this year.
Because if
100%.
they're just but even still, I don't know the GM's philosophy on running backs. If he is just, you don't pay running backs, they're going to load him up this year. And it's a cold world out there for running backs, and I
It
hate it
is.
for them, but that's the way the game goes. It's like, nah, you know what? We're going to go ahead and get all these carries.
I can see
Somebody else can
400
deal with
touches for
paying
Saquon
you.
this year.
Total touches, yeah, I could see it.
Yeah.
If he gets that sort of volume,
If
there's
Saquon
no
gets
way
400
he's not a
touches, he
top.
finishes RB1 on a year overall. Period for me.
I think
If
there's
he
no
gets to
way he
400,
isn't top 5. If that's a lot of touches, but I could see it.
yeah,
I could see it.
because they have to.
My only concern is I think that offense, they're going to be down quite a bit.
They are.
At
That
which
defense is
point
not.
they're going to be now. The big thing that I can't account for is in this offense with a fully functional and healthy Saquon, how involved in the passing game will he be? If he is truly involved in the passing game where he catches, let's say, 50 passes, I could
That's low.
see it. You think that's low?
I think it's low.
So he's going to
I
be
think
a
that's
big
low for
part
what
of
they
the
want.
passing game.
I think that's low for what they
Okay.
want. I think they want Saquon to catch 65, 70 passes in this offense.
If he does that, he is no doubt one of the top 5 players in fantasy. That's
Yeah.
more of an if for me than it seems to be for you, but I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all.
It all comes down to
He's
health.
going to
If
be an
he's on the
awesome player.
field, he's going to be in that. Like, there's nobody to take him off the field at all. No one. It's not like he's not fresh.
Play
Like,
him at linebacker too, like he's Movie Miles, man. Play him everywhere.
just like shout out to Blake. Miss you, Martin. I miss you already, Blake. Like, it's
That was
just
shocking.
he
That
didn't
was
fit. He
shocking.
didn't fit their defense the way they want to run defense now. Cool, change your defense then. Never mind, dog. But
Good players should fit
good players should fit your defense. But Tay Crowder, here we are. Yay. So it's just a matter. It's just a point of. I think Saquon, if he gets the work that I think I think he finishes RB1. But I don't know if he stays healthy or not. I don't know if they want to run. If they plan a future around him, they don't give him this many touches. But I don't know if they
which
are.
which was what I was saying.
But I
But
don't
he
think.
very well might
I think he goes
might want to
insane.
prove that he could be a workhorse regardless
Yeah,
to make sure he can get his money. Because if the
yeah.
question is, well, can you handle full load? He might need to prove that yes, he can.
And I don't think Daniel Jones is going to suck this year. That's all I'm going to say. I don't think he's going to be trash. I don't think he's going to be trash. Fantasy wise.
In fantasy. Okay, just making sure because that dude
Fantasy
sucks
wise.
too.
I don't think he's going to
You
be
can
trash
talk about
fantasy wise.
Carson Wentz, but
I think
he's
Daniel
not
Jones has a
Carson
decent
Wentz
floor.
for fantasy. I agree. For
Yeah, I think he
fantasy,
has a decent floor. That's all I got. Unless you got another MVP, that's all I got, man. I'm gonna end this on saying something good about Daniel Jones and fuck Evan Ingram, as usual. So that's all I got for you. Guess who I didn't mention today in a good way or in life? Watch he go. Watch he go. Watch Trevor Lawrence turns him to Dallas Clark, and I'm going to lose my mind on one of these episodes. I'm gonna look up, and Evan Ingram's gonna have 79 catches for like 1,112, and I'm going to choke somebody, dog. I'm gonna lose my mind when Evan Ingram's catching everything. Oh, sports in the top 8 play, and then he's Evan Ingram tiptoeing on it. He's never done this. Actually, no, I can't. Never mind. He's never done this. I don't expect a bird to pick up a cheeseburger and start eating
one
it.
I
So,
got one more. I got one
okay,
more. From a wide receiver standpoint, we are high
okay.
on him. We've been high on him. He's still
We
going
like
too
him.
low, or for too little value. No, we both really like him.
Okay.
Michael Pittman's going to have a monster year, people.
Oh,
I don't know
Pittman.
what to tell you. He's going to have a monster year. 100
After the
catches, 1,400 yards. I think that is all in play. 8 to
12,
10
13
touchdowns.
touchdowns. I,
And
I think his
he is
touchdown
not
numbers
going.
are high.
He is not going in a range with every draft I've participated in, every single one, whether it be snake or salary cap. Tyreek Hill has either gone earlier or for more money than Michael Pittman, and that is just silly business.
Can't
That
do it.
does not make sense.
Can't
That
do
does
it.
not make sense. Not from a floor standpoint, not from a consistency standpoint, not from a ceiling standpoint. Michael Pittman has a higher ceiling than Tyreek Hill this year. He is going to
Pittman's
just
ceiling
take him.
for me
Take him.
is wide receiver 3.
Wide receiver, I was going to say 5. He's up there.
I can see 3 because I think Cup and Jefferson are going to do what they do. You get if you tell me at the end of the year Jamar Chase finishes 4 and Pittman 3, I'm not going to be shocked.
Won't
That just
shock.
means
I
T
mean, I
Higgins
don't
cooked, and that's it. I
exactly.
don't expect it at
Exactly.
all. If
He
Diggs
has
finishes
there's
after
no
him, you're not as high on Diggs, but you got the Gabe
there's
Davis.
no
I get there's
there's no
no comp.
competition
Not Paris
for
Campbell.
those touches. Naeem Hines, I'm a little bit higher on him too. The more I think about it,
I
he's
like
going to
Hines.
catch a lot of passes. I'm
Yes,
hoping Jonathan Taylor catches some of those passes, but Naeem Hines is going to catch a lot of passes and be
he is.
annoying all
Pitt,
season to
Pittman is going to
Jonathan
be
owners.
really, really, really good. Give me Pittman. Like people are taking Mike Evans over Pittman. Everything I see. That I can't. I don't
You
see
know,
it.
I'm not a Mike Evans guy.
Yeah, but
Um,
even if I was, I can't see it.
I've come
I don't
around to
see
the
it.
point that Pittman is above Diggs and Allen for me. Diggs and Allen.
You're lower on Diggs than I am. I think Diggs is going to be insane.
Fair enough. I, you know how I feel about Keenan though, and I think Pittman over Keenan too. And you know how I feel about Keenan. Like
Yeah,
I think Pittman is going to have a monster year.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
It's
see it.
going to be a lot of Pittman, a lot of Jonathan Taylor. That's that offense.
Yeah,
Get
one
those
hundred
two
percent.
guys the ball and hope for the best. That's
I
the
see
way that
it.
offense is going to go.
I see it. If you guys are drafting tonight, good luck. I know you're drafting tonight. We're gonna chop it up all day up until you get there. I will give you a wide
This is a
receiver. I think
big.
you should leave this with.
This is a big one this year too.
I think you should
I
leave.
need to win
Yeah, man,
this. I need to
and
win this.
leave
I need to be done with this.
and leave.
Just
B. CM
shut the
Punk
deuce.
going through the crowd, waving that vent. Just take it and leave, B. If you guys are drafting tonight, I got two. We got two tomorrow, one Wednesday. We're locked in. Um. Oh, before we go, Bills or Rams? Who you got Thursday?
Jeez, I haven't even thought
That
about
game
it.
is a monster, dog.
I'll take Rams at home.
Rams at home. Okay. I got Bills
Take
and like
Rams at home. Yeah.
I got Bills and one of those like Rams Chiefs type of excellent shootouty type of
Gabe
games.
Davis. Gabe Davis gonna catch 6 for 105 and 2 touchdowns, and y'all
And
gonna
see,
realize I know I do this. I do this.
we like Gabe. We like Gabe. Woo, Josh. For my man BQ, I'm fuck Evan Ingram, dog.
Look,
He
I've done
better
all
not
these
do it.
drafts. We finally drafted against each other. It's time.
We haven't drafted
It is
against each other
time.
yet.
We have
Tomorrow night,
not.
we
We saved it for
yeah,
last. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Tuesday,
My
Wednesday,
last
B.
3 drafts. You getting ran. You getting ran too.
Yeah, I don't think you believe that yet. I don't think you believe that yet.
Nah, nah, I don't. You're very good at this.
I'm
You are in
locked in.
fact very good
I'm
at this
locked
game.
in.
You
I'm
are. You
locked in
are.
this
You
year.
are.
I'm locked in. We
Respect. You
appreciate
my
y'all,
man's.
obviously, always. But we gonna run y'all. I'll tell you that. We definitely gonna run y'all though. Don't let shit get through. We appreciate
Yep.
y'all, man. For my man BQ
Hey,
Ace, we out of here. Let my man Bauer bark and ad lib. Bro, get
man.
that nigga Rex.
He's